Hello and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Sometimes the boss fires his employee, but sometimes a Karen tries to fire the random guest of the restaurant. And our first story for today: I cannot fire guests. This happened a couple of years ago, and I think below is a good remembrance of the event. There probably was more cursing from the lady in question, which wasn't appropriate in a family restaurant, let alone in front of her kids. There's a chain restaurant located next to a strip mall less than 5 minutes away from where I work. I'm in there often, either by myself or with colleagues, and I've had a few I don't work here moments. It's usually been from folks wanting to compliment either the food or the servers. I think it comes from me being dressed in business casual and usually having a quick chat to some of the servers in the dining area as I head to the bar area. I tell them politely I'm not a manager here, but he or she is, and send them off in the right direction. This particular day, I had called into work on a day off and decided to stop for lunch. I was in jeans and a dark blue polo shirt. I spoke briefly to one of the servers and slipped into a stool at the bar. The bar area was pretty quiet, so my beer and food order was taken in a matter of moments. As usual, I got the lunchtime special, unlimited soup and salad with an entree, and being a regular, there was no need to consult the menu. My order placed and a tall glass of suds in under a minute. The soup and salad station is located to the rear of the restaurant, and you have to walk through the restaurant to get there. At lunchtime, there's normally only one section of the dining area open, so the easiest path is through the unused one as it's empty. I do what I normally do, head down and get my salad, then go back for the soup. I didn't hear anything as I went down to the salad bar, but I remembered hearing an "excuse me" as I was returning with my bowl. I set that down and head back for my soup. Again, I hear an "excuse me," but I'm not thinking it's addressed at me. I get my soup and bread and head back to the bar. I see ahead of me a woman rise up from a table that's in the third section. I think it's only used when they're really busy or need seating for larger parties, and step out into my path. I move to one side thinking she's on her way to the salad bar, but she's checking my every move as if she's going in for a tackle. I'm within a few steps of her. She's got a face like she's been chewing a bunch of bees. "What the hell is your problem?" she spits at me. I'm confused. It's my turn to say, "Excuse me? I've been trying to get your attention for over 10 effing minutes. That would have been pretty hard since I've probably been there less than 5. "What?" I say out of confusion. "I know you're ignoring me on purpose. I know your type. You see a single mom with 2 kids and don't want to bother because we won't tip." I try to utter those famous words, but she's on a roll. "I've been there for over 10 minutes and none of you effing lazy monkeys have even come over and given us silverware or even offered us drinks, and you effing ignore me on effing purpose. And you say you don't hear me because I saw you turn your head away from me." As she's taking in more air, I say it. "Look, I don't work here." And she's back. "Don't give me that bullcrap. You just decided to put on the uniform and serve people? I'm going to have your effing job for this. Who's in charge around here?" At that moment, the duty manager appears and addresses me by name and asks what the problem is, and before I can speak, she's off again, wearing that fake crap-eating grin. "Well, you don't work here, yet even the boss knows your name?" She turns to the manager. "This jerk-off here's treated me like crap. He's been rude and ignored me over a dozen times. He thinks because I'm a single mom, I'm not worth his time, probably the same as the rest of these monkeys. I'm a paying customer of your effing joke of a restaurant, and your staff have let me and my kids sitting without even a hi. You need to fire that jerk there, and I expect that you better take care of me and my kids. I'm not paying for anything after the way I've been treated. I want both of your names as well, and I'm going to make sure that your big bosses know what's going on here, and if you don't fire this a-hole right now, I'm going to make sure that they do, and they'll probably fire your sorry butt too." "Okay, ma'am," says the manager. "Here's my card," and hands her his business card. She looks to me. "Your name?" She says it in a way that the a-hole is silent. She doesn't have a pen, but the manager hands her one. Of course, she asks me to spell it out, savoring each letter. "I have to do my job, ma'am, and I need to establish facts. Could you please watch the color of your language? Let's start at where you're sitting." She points back to one of the large tables where 2 kids around 8 to 10 years old are sitting. "We haven't even been given drinks or silverware yet, and He cuts her off. "If I'm to sort this out, I need to speak to the person who sat you and find out why you weren't assigned a server." "What you need to be doing," she said in a sing-song voice, "is firing this jerk." "Ma'am, please work with me on this. I'm trying to establish the facts for your complaint. Bullcrap. I know effing well what you're doing. You're trying to save your butt and probably his too. I want this a-hole fired in front of everybody here so you can't... Please, ma'am, could you stop using profanity? There are families in here, says the manager. I notice that the regular noise of the restaurant is not at its usual level. I look over to the actual dining area, and we certainly have most of its attention. She points at me and starts to speak. Are you going to... The manager holds up a hand. Ma'am, please understand, I cannot fire guests. That just angers her even more. What kind of crap are you trying to pull here? This P-word is wearing your restaurant's uniform and running around with food in his hands. Is this what you... The manager's had enough. Ma'am, please stop. Will you please take a good look at this gentleman? She looks at me. The manager goes on. He's wearing a blue shirt and jeans. Our uniform is black shirt with our logo and black pants. You'll also notice he's not wearing an apron, which all of our servers wear while on duty. And if you take a good look down to the end of the restaurant, you'll see where the self-serve bar is. That's why this gentleman is carrying what is probably now cold soup. She's staring at me, looking me up and down, then looking around, probably trying to see if what she's hearing is true. There's a lot that I can and can't do for our guests. And as I said, it's not in my power to fire them. I can make them leave if they're disrupting other guests or staff or causing problems for the restaurant. You fall into the latter. I think she's about to speak again, but the manager gets in first. I can also call the police to assist me. So may I suggest that you gather up your kids and leave. If you do wish to take this further, the website address is on my card, and you'll find all of our corporate contact information. The exit is this way. I wait until they're out of my path, and I return to the bar, and I get a few questions on what happened. I answered them the same way. She thought I worked here. The manager came up to see me once I had seen her drive off of their lot and apologized for not being there sooner. I was in the cooler and didn't get the code Karen over the radio. He said he'd have to write a report about the incident and asked if I would give my contact details, which I did. I did tell him there was no need to do that on my account, but he said it was policy to do so. The lady did contact corporate as I got a phone call from some lady asking to give my version of events, although I have no idea what tale she told them or even if they took any action against her. The restaurant sent in the report along with CCTV that recorded the incident, and about 2 weeks later I get a letter from corporate thanking me for my cooperation and a $50 gift card. And our second story. Boss wants me to come to work drunk. Okay, so I was thinking this would be an Entitled People, but it's about work, and I wasn't working at the time. My boss is a nice guy, but sometimes gets a bit aggravated, and I'll be honest, doesn't run things the way I would run things. To the story. A couple of people have left the job due to not being paid for overtime and being overworked anyway, so the people left, including me, have been doing 6 or 7 days a week to keep the place running. It's a small business, and money is money. About 2 weeks of this, and we asked the boss man, when are new people being hired? Oh, you guys seem to be getting on fine as you are. And that was the end of that convo. Being a bit run down and young and fed up of no social life, I booked off my nice 4-day weekend and bought tickets for a band I liked. Holiday was accepted. Nice. Friday comes and I wake up nice and late, get a couple of tinnies in with the mates on the way up to the Big Smoke, and proceed to get hammered to punk music and thoroughly enjoying my night of sticking it to the man. In the smokers area, I get a phone call from the boss man. Hey, Big G. We have kind of a casual relationship. That wasn't me being a moron. Hey, Angry Jarl, any chance you can work tonight and the weekend? We're understaffed and blank name would have had to work 16 hours. Sorry, boss man, I'm in London and also pretty sloshed. Right, so you can make a no-name not go home with his kids so you want to have fun then. Dutch courage kicked in. Look, we're all overworked and you don't want to hire new people. We all told you this had happened, so no, I'm not coming in. Well, don't bother turning up tomorrow then. That's the plan. But he hung up. Went back to work in Tuesday and he acted like nothing happened. Turned out the boss man did the shift himself because blank name just got in his car after hearing the conversation over the phone. Started the job search again because still no one new being hired because, of course, we seem to be managing fine. This has basically been just a bit of a rant. Boss is a nice guy, but his corner cutting to make money is just basically treating his staff like poo. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.